Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sports Desk with Ryan Potts and Jack Mitchell. I'm Ryan Potts, otherwise known as Splash. You can find me on U Stadium at Splash. You can find me on social media at Mr. Splashman19. What's up, Jack?
How's it going? We lost our script for the intro, but you can find me on U Stadium at Jack Mitchell or on Instagram at Jack_Mitchell_01.
Yeah,
All right.
I did lose that script. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, unfortunate, but Here we go. Yeah. Been an interesting week this week, for sure.
For sure. You know, football's slowing down a little bit. We have the Pro Bowl on Sunday, but
Pro Bowl.
Yeah, not too much going on. It's just going to be guys playing Madden. You know, who really cares about that? But hey, Sunday we had two fascinating football games. Well, rather one fascinating football game and the Chiefs playing with their food, essentially. So let's jump in. Let's go to Lambeau. What do you make of Bucs 31, Packers 26?
Well, I think most of the talk is going to be about what happened at the end of the game, which, I mean, let's be real, that's probably the biggest part of it because Packers have a chance to, I think, what was it, tie or win? I can't remember completely.
They were down 8 with 2 minutes to go with that fourth and goal from the 8.
Yeah, so it could have been a tie. They could have gone for 2, but the decision not to go for it on fourth down, I think, is really going to hurt Matt LaFleur.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to hurt Aaron Rodgers on that third down where he didn't run for it because, you know, he had a chance to go for it. He didn't run it. And maybe then if he does run it, it's a fourth and shorter. And then who the heck knows after that? You have maybe a fourth down and 2 yards to go on fourth and goal. Yeah, anything else, and you just never know.
Yeah, it was rough. You know, Rodgers has this reputation of being a guy that can extend the play, you know, make plays with his legs, and that's one thing that makes him, you know, special compared to the likes of Brady and Peyton and Breeze. He's not a statue, and he's a guy, even at 37, he can move a little bit, and I'm still shocked that he didn't tuck it and run. You know, I'm not saying he scores. I'm not saying he gets to the 1 or the 2, but he gets a few yards, and if it's 4th and 4, you trust the MVP to make a play. You have, you know, your MVP quarterback, your all-pro wide receiver. You just make a play, and you have tons of play. You have Aaron Jones in the backfield. You have Alan Lazard. You had Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who had a good game. You have the tight end Tunyon, and it's just kind of baffling to me. LaFleur played such a conservative game plan. He would kick in these weird situations and didn't go for it on 4th and 6 early in the game. In the red zone, you have Aaron Rodgers, you have DeVonta Adams, and then 4th and 8. It's one of the most cowardly decisions I've ever seen as a sports fan.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect that, but I want to get on the side of the Bucs. I want to give credit to Tom Brady, and I should, and I will. But the Bucs defense was insane.
Yes,
they had a really, really, really good defense. What did they pick him off like 3 times in that game? 4 times? I think it was 3.
So Green Bay picked Brady off 3 times, and Tampa picked Rodgers off once.
Yeah. Okay, so I had it wrong, but their defense still played pretty solid.
Yeah, it was a stellar performance all around from Tampa. You know, JPP.
Did I lag out?
Jason Pierre-Paul has never lost a playoff game, oddly enough. And Shaq and Pierre-Paul won the Super Bowl with the 2011 Giants. Is my stream frozen?
I lagged out for a minute.
Okay, I don't know if I was frozen. My sincere apologies if I was. But Jason, at least 6 pressures. Okay, I think we're good. So Shaq Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul both had 6 pressure, at least 6. Oh, boy. Do I have too many tabs open? I think I do. Okay.
Is this on your end or mine? Because you're lagging for me.
I think it's on my end. Okay. Shaquille Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul, for the 5th time, had great games on Sunday. They were in Rodgers' lap all day long. You know, Green Bay didn't have David Bakhtiari, which of course hurts, but you have two Pro Bowlers one Pro Bowler and one All Pro on the interior of the offensive line. And granted, those aren't the matchups that Pierre-Paul and Barrett are getting, but hey, Green Bay all year long had one of the best offensive lines in football, and Tampa Bay said, LOL, we're going to take your soul today. And just tremendous performance from Pierre-Paul. He's 7-0 in the playoffs. Shout out to Adam on the app for mentioning that. And Shaq Barrett, former Super Bowl champion with the Broncos. So I thought it was an electric performance defensively from Tampa.
This is just making me have flashbacks to the divisional round. If only Aaron Donald was healthy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Donald's matchups were an All-Pro, Corey Linsley, and Pro Bowl Elgton Jenkins. So there's that. But, he's Aaron Donald. He's going to just – he's a walking 6 pressures a game, his off day. I remember on the app there were some 49ers fans and Cardinals fans calling him out, like saying he was overrated because he didn't have a sack in 2 games. The Jets game and the Seahawks game, he played them immediately after. He had 18 pressures in those games. He was the only player all year to have 18 pressures in a 2-game span, and he was being called overrated for it.
Those are salty divisional rival fans. So I'm going to call them out right now. Anyway, now we can give credit to Tom Brady, though, because I thought Tom Brady looked great. For what his athletic ability for his age is just absurd. What is he, 43, I think?
Yeah, 43. He's 43. Just the arm talent. The arm talent's still there. I don't think you've had the conversation like with, say, Drew Brees. We've had the conversation he can't throw the football. Brady can still sling it. Brady has that. He's not a Mahomes arm. He's not a Josh Allen arm. He's not even an Aaron Rodgers arm, but he can sling it still. And I think it was really impressive overcoming adversity. He did throw 3 interceptions, which, of course, if you look at the stat line, he threw 3 interceptions. He sucks. Well, yeah, there were 3 bad interceptions. One of them is essentially a jump ball to Mike Evans that Brady's getting plastered into the ground by a non-rushing Green Bay defender. It's like if Mike Evans sees the football, it's not the easiest interception of all time. Then he had one that went off of Evans' hands. Yeah, throw was a little high. Mike Evans is 6'5" and has a huge vertical. He should catch it. And the other interception wasn't very good. But he has one terrible interception that's not really his fault. One interception that's a little high throw. Evans probably should have caught it, and one bad interception. Other than that, Green Bay turned the ball over twice. Tampa and Brady walked down, scored 14 points. That was the story of the game because Green Bay couldn't capitalize in the red zone. I think they were 2 for 4 scoring touchdowns in the red zone. That doesn't cut it in January. Tampa was, I think, 2 for 2. They had the beautiful touchdown from Brady to Scotty Miller right before the half that capitalized on a Rodgers throw. Yeah, it was a little push by Sean Murphy-Bunting. I get it, but it's January football. It happens, and it's not.
And they're going to keep
jersey yanking like it was with Tyler Johnson and Kevin King on the last play of the game.
Yeah, I was going to say too. Like you're gonna get some moments where they just keep their whistles in their pockets because that's just how it goes. Sometimes they let the players play, except that PI at the end. And there was tugging. That kind of almost a little bit reminds me of all the way back in week 1, the Ramsey Gallup kind of situation where it wasn't the most egregious call in the world, but I think they made I think they might have made the right decision on that one only because it was still a tug. He definitely affected him catching the ball, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can on the back angle from where the referee was standing, it's like a solid 6 inches, 8 inches of just white jersey. And the ref is going to see that every single time. There's hand fighting, there's holding calls, there's stuff that you see that's like, how did the ref not catch it? This is one that the ref would genuinely have to be blind to not catch it. And I think I know Packers fans are mad that they called a pretty clean game and then, you lose the season on a pass interference holding call because you should have lost it there. And I get Rodgers had several throws that were into holding, a PI by Murphy Bunting, Davis, you name it. I get it, but those aren't egregious game-ending holds with 2 minutes to play.
Most of them, I think a lot of the frustration also comes from the fact that it was inconsistent to how the game was being called. As you said, they mostly called a clean game, but then the one the one like really controversial play is called as PI, and it's just not how the rest of the game was being called. So,
right. I just strange to me. I think Tampa played really well. Outside of Brady, I think Brady was, if anything, the anchor, I guess. We talked about on the app, scale of 0 to 100, how much do you credit Brady? And I said several times, I don't give him as much credit as some of you will give him, but I give him more than Superior Alex will give him. Shout out Alex.
Don't give him any credit, period.
But yeah, I thought Brady was okay for the most part. He had that stretch in the third quarter that he wasn't very good. I get it. Leonard Fournette, playoff Lenny is a real thing. The offensive line played really well. Defensive line was fantastic. Again, Barrett, JPP had 6, 7, 8 pressures each. The linebackers, Levante David and Devin White, made plays when they needed to. And the defensive backs, without Antoine Winfield and without Jordan Whitehead, the other safety for the majority of the game, they were down their number 1 and number 2 safeties, and they played really well. Davis, besides getting burned on one play to Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Davis played well for the most part. Jamel Dean played well for the most part. And, of course, Sean Murphy-Bunting, 3 games, 3 interceptions. What a start to his playoff career.
That is really awesome for him.
That's throwing back to Ed Reed. He did that, and your guy, Aeneas Williams, did it with the Cardinals and Rams.
Yeah. I think it's his birthday today, actually.
Oh, well, if it is, happy birthday.
It's nice little coincidence there. Yeah, all right. Chiefs, Bills. Like you said, you can go ahead.
Yeah, like I said earlier, the Chiefs are kind of playing with their food. I saw a press conference from later in the week from Mahomes saying, yeah, the media was kind of getting onto us for not winning by enough, so we kind of had to put it to the Bills. They went on a run. The Chiefs went on a run, 38-6. People aren't going to talk about that. They dominated this game. Buffalo got out to this 9-0 start, fluky, muffed punt. I say fluky, but they had the same situation happen last year with Houston. They're down 9-0, and Buffalo had no chance to win. At that point, I knew, Kansas City is going to blow the doors off Buffalo now.
Kansas City was just saying to themselves, oh, you're up 9-0. That's cute.
Yeah. It's like they have you seen the meme? It's like the guy sitting back in his chair, and then he just leans forward with the arrow. The Chiefs essentially can do that at any point in any game, and the switch is cliche in any sport. The mid 2010 Warriors, they had this switch. The Nets now have this switch. LeBron James has this switch. The Chiefs actually have a switch, and they can just say, we are arguably the greatest team ever. And we have this Mahomes guy that's probably going to be the best quarterback in the history of professional sports.
I would say he's the most talented player right now in terms of quarterback.
Oh, absolutely. Like we can have an argument Mahomes or Aaron Donald is the best player in the league, but Mahomes is different at quarterback.
Yeah.
So Kansas City played really well. The defense was fantastic for the most part. Josh Allen did almost nothing. Allen didn't have a very good game. A lot of his stats came in garbage time. Again, that 38-6 run. By the end of that, it was 38-15. And if Buffalo doesn't kick a field goal and get a touchdown right at the end, it looks like a massacre. It was a massacre. And the Bills have a long way to go to compete with Kansas City, I think.
I think they do, but I do think we will see them back.
Absolutely.
For sure. They went on a heck of a run this year for sure. I mean, considering where they were a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. I really liked what they've done. I'm ashamed we lost to them on a really bad PI call, but people have their thoughts about that. But regardless, Buffalo's a really, really good team. I love seeing the leap that Josh Allen took this year. Mm-hmm. They will be back, 100%. Yeah. They might still have some work to do, but they will be back.
Yeah, the AFC is going to be loaded for the next few years. And you can, even if I take the Ravens out of it, just pretend like the city of Baltimore sinks into the ocean. Kansas City's legit, Buffalo's legit, Cleveland's legit. That's 3 title contending teams every single year for the next 5-8 years probably. Tennessee's not going anywhere. Indy isn't going anywhere. Their roster is incredible. They just need a quarterback at this point. Jacksonville's about to get Lawrence. The Jets are probably going to get Watson, or they're going to get Fields, or they're going to get Wilson. They're going to get someone.
We'll talk about that in a minute, by the way.
Yeah. And Joe Douglas knows what he's doing, I think. So I think the Jets are going to be good in a few years. Miami, I didn't even mention Miami.
Oh yeah, Miami too.
They are loaded. Like Brian Flores can coach. He's probably a top 5 coach already. That is a great defensive roster. And if you get Tua, playmakers, DeVonta Smith, I posted a mock on the app yesterday. DeVonta Smith and Jalen Waddle. Hey, you know what they did with Tua? They won a national title. That could be explosive in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy to think about what happened now that Tom Brady has kind of taken away, or he took off from New England, and now that's kind of taken away New England's chances because Belichick, his stats without Brady are not great. Nope. And like I've said the same thing. I've heard people say the same thing too. Like, who is the system? Is Brady the system or Belichick the system? Both of them are the system. Without one, there's none. Mm-hmm. And now that one's gone, it just kind of feels like the door is open to the rest of the AFC. And there's a lot of teams out there that could really make a push.
Yeah, it's almost like a power vacuum, and I think it's especially evident in the AFC East because you're going to have Miami and Buffalo duking it out for the next 5-10 years. And I think Buffalo is a little bit of a lead right now because Josh Allen is an MVP caliber quarterback at this point. But I think the world of Tua, and I think you put route runners in front of him. Like, I love Devontae Parker. I love Preston Williams. They are not good fits with Tua. You put route runners, you put fast guys like, heck, Jakeem Grant. You can do things with Tua probably. Buffalo and Miami, that's going to be back and forth, I think. For
that division could be fun to watch.
Year. Oh,
it could be really fun to watch, especially if the Jets do it.
Even the Jets. And we'll go ahead and go to this comment by Aaron Thomas. Where do you think Watson lands? At this point, the favorite is New York. Jets, of course. I don't think any place is really off the table outside of like Kansas City, Baltimore, Cleveland, Buffalo. But where do you think he lands, Jack?
It looks like the Jets. It really does look like the Jets. And I mean, I don't know what the Jets are going to do though, because like there's also the possibility that they take Zach Wilson. I think their draft pick really depends on how this Watson thing goes down. If Watson goes to the Jets, they'll probably trade Darnold, I think.
Yeah,
it's so confusing.
I think Darnold will get traded. His value is weird because as like a fan of another quarterback in the 2018 draft class, you just don't feel like Darnold has that much value. But then again, he's a quarterback that has shown flashes, and teams know the Jets are had been one of the worst run organizations in professional sports. So if you saw anything out of Darnold, a second-round pick, a third-round pick, why not try it? I guess. I mean, Josh Rosen was flipped for a second-round pick, and he had an atrocious rookie year. At least Darnold is better than that, I think.
Yeah,
so he might end up getting a first. I don't know. But I do think the Jets will have the next month or so, I guess February and March, to say, we should go after Watson. If the price is too steep, I don't know what is too steep for Joe Douglas, but if the price is too steep, hey, you can pick Zach Wilson at 2, Justin Fields at 2, Trey Lance at 2, Mac Jones at 2. I don't know. Pick your guy at 2. Outside of Trevor Lawrence, just pick your guy at 2, or you can go after Deshaun Watson. Well, I guess you could go after Stafford too. I don't think anyone's mentioned Stafford to the Jets, but that'd be an interesting one. You get draft, I don't know, DeVonta Smith at 2. I'm sure I just triggered a bunch of Dolphins fans, but Matt Stafford throwing passes to DeVonta Smith sounds really good.
It does. They did. The only mention that happened with Stafford today, I think, came with the Rams too. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about the Rams because Jared Goff, his contract situation has been, or his just situation in general. Basically, what happened was the Rams had we already know what Sean McVay said about Goff and how he wasn't sure if he's going to be the starter. And then Les Snead, the GM, had a virtual press conference, and he kind of echoed the same thing that Sean McVay said, that he said that Jared Goff is a quarterback for the Rams right now. Mm-hmm. He never committed to him long term. And Jalen Ramsey, I can tell he kind of wants Deshaun I don't think it's going to happen. It seems unrealistic, but then the report
That would be interesting.
that would be really interesting. I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. But the report came out today that they want, or that Matt Stafford has been linked in talks to them. Like he says they're a viable candidate or something.
Ooh, okay. I think we've established both on the show and on the app that I'm a big fan of what the Rams do. I thought they were going to go to the Super Bowl, and then they lost to Green Bay. But I think the Rams are as talented of a roster outside of quarterback as you find in the NFL. I think you can match them up with just about anyone. The only real weakness they had was when Whitworth went down, and the offensive line was just a little shaky. But when Whitworth is there, Kupp is healthy, Woods is healthy, McVay does magic with running backs. He does magic on the offense. The offense is good, and that defense, oh boy, you got the superstars, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. I love me some Darius Williams. I love me some Troy Hill. That is a fantastic unit.
Aside from Troy Hill in the playoff game against Green Bay, I thought he had a terrible game, but other than that, I'm not going to write him off. I loved his play throughout the year. He had 3 defensive touchdowns alone.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like we talk about all this talent that this team has. Well, can you imagine this team with talent at QB?
Right.
I know getting rid of Goff is hard. It's going to be very hard to deal, especially with that huge contract he has attached to him. But if they do get rid of him and they get a guy like Stafford, or they get if they decide to make John Wolford the starter, this team, you can tell they really want a mobile QB too, because they've signed a couple of guys. They signed Devlin Hodges to a futures contract. He's a mobile guy.
Bryce Perkins, right? From
Bryce Perkins,
UVA.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And then there's the possibility of John Wolford. The way I see it going for the Rams this offseason is if they don't, they're going to try to go after a big name quarterback. If they can't get him, then it looks like there's going to be an open competition, is the word that was used, between Goff and Wolford. And I really feel like John Wolford wins that one, though.
I can't imagine Sean McVay with a mobile quarterback. I think there's tiers to mobility in the NFL. Not everyone is Lamar Jackson, not everyone is Kyler Murray, but having a little bit of mobility helps a long way, because we're not in the age, outside of Brady and Breeze to some degree, we're not in the age of pocket passers that are just so aware of their surroundings that they just make these little subtle movements in the pocket. You have to have some just shred of mobility now. You have to be able to, 3rd and 6, everyone's covered. Hey, you have 8 yards of green grass. You have to pick up those 8 yards. We saw even Chad Henne, 3rd and 14. This is
we talked about
on the line for the Chiefs, and Chad Henne made a play. And that's something, I don't know if Jared Goff makes that play.
Jared Goff will not do that.
I think John Wolford makes that play. I don't think Goff makes it. I think Wolford does.
The closest I've seen Goff come and do that, he did something like that in the Dallas game in 2018, that season. He had an opportunity to run on first down and he got it, but that wasn't 3rd and 14 like what Henne did. That was 3rd and 6 or something. I don't even remember, but it was short. But yeah, I don't trust Goff to be mobile. He's trying. You say that he's trying to we're past the age where quarterbacks just make those little subtle moves in the pocket. It kind of feels like Goff is just trying to be someone who the Rams don't need.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to stay in the pocket and be that good pocket presence. And while sometimes that's nice, the Rams could definitely benefit from having a more mobile guy like Wolford or Watson or somebody, or Stafford even. I mean, I don't know if Stafford's really a mobile guy, but
I think Stafford, I wouldn't say Stafford's a statue. I think Goff can be a statue. I think on that scale of quarterback mobility, Stafford's closer to Lamar Jackson than Jared Goff is.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying he is Lamar Jackson, certainly not, but he's can move. He's not. His feet aren't in concrete.
He's not going to be just a statue when the play breaks down around. When we've seen it happen with Goff, the play will just break down around him, and he either drops back forever and then just throws the ball away, or throws it to somebody on the other team, or he's just a statue. He takes a sack, and sometimes he fumbles. The Rams know he's better. They know he can do more, but they don't want to take the risk anymore. Like, they don't want to have the inconsistency. Like, we don't know which Goff is going to show up week in and week out. And I think with any of these guys that we've mentioned here, there's a real chance that they could do something. Like, they're a quarterback away, is what I've been saying.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of guys that can do something, we're going to go to the chat for real quick. Mike1625, I don't know if you guys were tuned into the Senior Bowl, but who are your biggest risers and fallers? I didn't watch too much. I didn't
catch it.
I did a little recap on yesterday's show, the Time Out With You Stadium. So if you want to check out my thoughts, go to yesterday's show on YouTube. I actually don't know if it's on. I don't know how Twitch and Periscope work in terms of like saving shows, but I do know it's on the YouTube. Check it out. About halfway through the show, I'll fix the timestamps tonight. But I love Quinn Miners from Wisconsin Whitewater. That man is a people mover on the interior of the offensive line, and he's a guy. Hey, Baltimore, why not give him a call? Day 2, day 3, give him a call.
I did not catch the Senior Bowl, unfortunately, so I don't really know what I'm talking about there. But
yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So we got Alec in the chat. Another week without a haircut from either of you.
I told Alec that I remember specifically what I said too. If all 5 of my favorite teams win the championship of the same, so that's the LA Kings, LA Rams, LA Dodgers, LA Galaxy, and LA Lakers. If they all win titles in the same concurrent season that they're in, I will cut my hair.
I mean, I know. So, okay, this is a funny story. So it says Ryan Potts. This is actually on my mom's iPad, but it's signed in under me. Yes, if my beloved Ravens had won the Super Bowl, I would have gotten my haircut. Absolutely. And yeah, a quick shout out to Nelson Splash. I'll send you $20 to Apple Pay if you cut your hair on air. I could do that when I'm back home, but I'm in Tucson in my dorm, so I don't really have access to that. This is also for my mom. Love some Red Wings. Brendan Shanahan rock. We're going to get to some NHL in a little bit. And also, hey, Holden, how's it going?
We see you. You were the guy who wanted the chat interaction. We're doing it right now. Yeah. There you go. And we'll probably do more in a minute. But
I would say go Rams, but I know my mom has a Rams blanket. It is St. Louis, but St. Louis Rams blanket. Which is
I'll say go Rams.
And on my 8th birthday cake, I was like March 2009, or yeah, March 9th, 2009. Hey, remember my birthday in a couple weeks. I had a Rams versus Ravens Super Bowl on my birthday cake.
Nice. Yeah. I don't have any St. Louis stuff. Like I have some merch from when the logo was still. It was like 2016. The logo was the same. The only thing that changed was that it in like the wordmark version of it. It changed from St. Louis to LA, but everything was still like the navy blue and gold.
Right. Ooh, I did like one of the, I guess, St. Louis specific logos. I liked the Rams logo that resembled the arch, the Gateway Arch.
Yeah, that was their first one.
That was gorgeous. I think that was the logo they had when they won the Super Bowl. I think it's one of the nicer logos of teams gone.
It's clean enough.
Yeah.
Here, I can look it up right now, actually. If you want to do some more chat interaction, I can look it up real fast.
Got Holden again. I watched all 3 practices. Richie Grant, Radens, Mari Rogers, Aaron Robinson, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Basham earned a bag. I love Radens. I don't know. I think I screwed his name up, but Dylan Radens, offensive tackle, North Dakota State. I think he could be a first-round guy. If you're one of the teams at the end of the first round, whether Pittsburgh, even Baltimore, although we'd probably go interior before offensive tackle, Kansas City, Tampa. If you need a tackle and you need a good tackle, Radens is a great option at the end of the first round. Creed Humphrey, I've had him mocked to Pittsburgh before. Basham, I loved Basham heading into the year. I assume you're talking about Carlos Basham, the edge from Wake Forest. I had him as a first-round pick heading into the year. Amari Rogers, I believe he's ACC receiver. I could be wrong on that, but I think he could be a solid day 2, early day 3 guy. Aaron Robinson, that name sounds very familiar, and he's certainly flying up. Trey Smith, interior guy out of Tennessee, should be good moving forward. Maybe not a first-round guy, probably a second-round guy, but a lot of teams need help on the interior of the offensive line. Baltimore is one of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if Trey Smith goes a little bit earlier than people expect because interior O-line is such a big need sometimes, and we don't have quite the number of star players from at guard in the free agency class. Like there's Scherf, but I feel like Washington retained Scherf, and there's Tooney. I mean, I like Tooney. I thought he would look great in Ravens purple, but I think it could be a big year for those interior offensive linemen. Like
just one moment, I apologize.
Okay. So we got Holden again. Also, Ian Book looks sharp, real sharp. Everyone knows I don't like Ian Book. He cost me a huge parlay during the season when Notre Dame upset Clemson. When my boy DJ Ukulele is it Ukulele? Something like that. When Trevor Lawrence was out, I bet on Clemson to cover the spread against Notre Dame. Notre Dame not only covered the spread, but they won. So Ian Book is in my crappy list, but he did look good in Mobile. That's important. And Holden's also going to say Central Florida for Robinson and Grant. Yeah, Central Florida's been like a low-key kind of pipeline. Both of the Griffin twins, Shaq and Shaquem. I guess they're both Shaq. Shaquille and Shaquem. Shaquille has been a solid corner in the league. Shaquem's been a solid, rotational guy, special teams guy. So good stuff from Central Florida. And Mackenzie Milton, right? He could go next year's draft. He had a rough ACL injury, a rough knee injury a couple years ago. So maybe not fully there, but I'd love to see.
I made the switch.
Yeah, I'd love to see Mackenzie Milton in the big stage. And hey, let's do some NHL talk, Jack.
Yeah, let's do it.
Your team's better than mine.
Not quite. They lost 5-3 last night. It was painful, but yeah, it actually was painful for some people because Mr. Kevin Fiala got suspended for 3 games that just got announced today for an illegal hit to the head on Matt Roy, who's a Kings defenseman. And then Matt Roy got hurt, and then Sean Walker also got hurt, blocking a shot to the face, which was painful. Like there was a photo of him post game, and I don't know if I should show it on here. It was kind of bad. Like his eye was closed.
You can post it on the app.
Maybe I'll post it on the app.
If you want to see Jack's picture, head to the U Stadium app.
Maybe I'll post it on the app. If I feel like I probably will. But yeah, you can see going at the bottom of the screen, we got the division leaders right now. Vegas kind of running away with the West, but it's still kind of close. They're 5-1-1 right now. Colorado's 5-3-1 or 0, so only a 1 point difference there.
But that point percentage, though, that could matter if teams begin to miss games, right?
Yeah,
I would imagine the NHL and NBA to some degree have like win percentage, point percentage, kind of. So let's say, of course, Dallas just started their season. They had this huge COVID outbreak in their training camp, and they just started. So I think they're going to try to make up all the games, but hypothetically, let's say they don't. I'd imagine their point percentage matters more than their actual total points, right?
I think that's the tiebreaker. I think point differential is also the tiebreaker too.
Because they have won 4 in a row. Now, granted, they did play Detroit the last 2 games. So, I mean, I think you and I might be able to beat Detroit some nights. But they have a sterling 8 points in 4 games. The best point percentage in the NHL. And they're second. They're 1 point behind Columbus. And Columbus has been a pretty okay, a 563 point percentage. They have 9 points in 8 games, 3 wins, 2 losses, and 3 overtime losses. They're fine. Dallas has been the cream of the crop just through 4 games. Nashville can look scary. Florida is 3-0-1, so they haven't had a regulation loss yet. That's impressive. And, of course, Tampa, they've only played 5 games, so that 700-point percentage working wonders.
There's also a chance that some teams are going to catch up to Vegas because it also just got announced today that the Vegas-San Jose series is getting postponed because of COVID. So,
yeah, rough start there for Vegas. I'm sure my boy Alec on the app is not going to be too pleased that his Golden Knights aren't going to be in action the next few days.
Yeah, it's unlucky. They've been looking really good as of late, and that could be Colorado's chance. It could be Minnesota's chance to catch up. Both of them are sitting at 5-3-0, but Colorado has a better differential. So,
Yeah, and a quick shout out to Washington. I know they were with some COVID not opt outs, but guys that missed because of COVID, and they've kept winning. They haven't had a regulation loss yet. They're 5-0-3, an 813 point percentage, which is one of the best in hockey, let alone in the East Division.
It looks really good. If you want some stat leaders really quick. So Connor McDavid, the points leader with 14. Leon Draisaitl actually is in second, so that's two Edmonton guys. It's a tie between Draisaitl and Mitch Marner from from Toronto for second place in points. But Draisaitl, there's actually 5 players tied for 6 goals right now. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's Draisaitl, Tyler Toffoli from Montreal, Brock Besser from Vancouver, Mikko Rantanen from Colorado, and Max Pacioretty from Vegas. Vegas has just been insane. Like
lighting up the scoreboard, lighting everything up, really.
Yeah, and then of course they get Alex Pietrangelo. That's huge. Assist leaders: Anze Kopitar, go Kings, in first with 11. Quinn Hughes in second with 10, and then there's 3 tied for third with 9 assists each. It's McDavid, Mark Stone from Vegas, and Cale Makar from Colorado. I'm surprised at Kopitar. I knew he was good at passing. I know he was really good at assisting, but leading the league, not bad.
Yeah, impressive start. And I want to give a quick shout out to the defenseman for Vancouver. I just totally blanked on his name. I had it all ready to give like a shout out to him. I totally forgot his name. I can't find it. Okay, I need to spend more time on the NHL website because I'm not. Boy, this is bad. This is a terrible look.
Who's he play for?
Vancouver. Oh, Quinn Hughes.
Quinn Hughes. Yeah, there you go.
Has 11 points so far. Fantastic start. I know Vancouver has had the benefit of playing more games than anyone, but he's averaging over a point per game. How many defensemen average over a point per game? Not a whole lot. So
not many.
Shout out to Quinn. What a start.
It's definitely been a weird year in the NHL to say the least. But it should be fun with teams playing each other. Kirill Kaprizov on Minnesota has been pissing me off lately, so it's going to be fun to hold a grudge against him for what is it, like 6 more games? I don't even remember. I've lost count. That's how bad it is. And then, yeah, all the divisional matchups are going to be fun.
I'm going to take us on a little bit of a tangent here.
Go for it.
So, as a Red Wings fan, the Red Wings have terrible retro reverse jerseys. Absolutely, terrible. One of the worst in the league.
I can agree.
How do you feel about your retro?
Love. Reverse? Absolutely love. It's like if you can pull an image up here.
I'm going to try to Chrome tab.
Get Detroit's first so that we can see.
All right, there we go. There's an ad there. Yes, I'm over 13. Okay, well, that is every product. That's not what I wanted. Okay.
I could go on all day about the reverse. We have to do like a show one day just about reverse retro jerseys, honestly.
Ooh, actually, yeah, I could scrap this and we can have a show sometime during the week about it. You want to do that?
Might as well.
Alrighty. Well, goodbye, Adidas retro reverse jerseys. You'll be back. You'll be remembered.
Talk about you during the week.
Yeah, we will talk about you at some point because I have some strong opinions. I love, some of them are just gorgeous. And eventually when we get everything monetized and I have millions and millions of dollars to spend on jerseys, I'm going to have a dozen or 2 dozen, of these retro reverse jerseys. None of them are going to be Detroit's because I'm wearing the one from 1998. It's the exact same as this, except the stripe on the bottom is a little bit different. It's like a silver instead of a silver Jack's jersey. Instead
mine has a bit of a glitter.
Yeah. So it's I really don't want if I like this jersey, I don't want a jersey exactly like this with a gray stripe. I have 3 Ravens jerseys right now from active players. Actually, I have 4 Ravens jerseys in total. All of them are different. I don't want the same. I don't want a Lamar Jackson jersey and a Marquise Brown jersey that are the same. I don't want. It just annoys me.
In fairness, it's with teams like Montreal, because like Montreal hasn't changed. They changed their look like 5, 6, 7. I don't even remember how many times within like their first handful of years, and then they found a design they liked. They've stuck with it, and it's been there for the longest time. But they had a third color that they could change it to. Mm-hmm. Detroit has only ever used 2 colors.
Yep.
Like it would,
and it's been the same logo for I think 70 years, 80 years. So you're not really changing much.
You're not. Yeah, we'll do a show at some point about reverse retro jerseys because, boy, some of them are awesome. Some of them I want to burn.
Yeah, it sucks that Detroit screwed it up. So I don't even know. I don't think screwed it up is the right word because they don't really have much to work with. In all fairness.
They don't really have a lot to work with. So they just. But what they came up with was kind of still disappointing.
And Michael Potts is right. Can't beat the classic Red Wings jersey.
Oh, that one's a timeless classic.
Yeah. And you can't beat Montreal either. Montreal is phenomenal jersey. I think every team in the original 6 has really good jerseys. Like I've seen a lot of great Chicago jerseys, Boston jerseys. They can experiment a little bit more with the colors and such. And then of course Montreal and Toronto have great jerseys. And who's the 6th team? Detroit, Minnesota, or not
New
Minnesota?
York Rangers.
Oh, okay, yes, the Rangers. Because they had, for a little while, they had like New York or would have Rangers. And I love the Statue of Liberty jerseys they had, which I think is kind of similar to what the retro reverse jersey is. But we're going to get to those.
We will get to them next week.
We will get to them. So speaking of getting to, let's get to some hot takes from the U Stadium app.
Yes. Haven't looked at these yet. This will be fun.
This is one. Okay, here we go. Okay. The Cowboys will make it to the Super Bowl within 5 years, at least once, if they sign Dak.
We talked about this last week. We talked about how Dak was we weren't sure whether they were going to sign Dak or not, but we felt like that was the best option for them to go with. I mean, I like what they're doing with their wide receiver core right now. Like we mentioned it last week too. We mentioned what is it? It's Gallup, it's CeeDee Lamb, it's
Amari Cooper.
Yeah, Amari Cooper. Can't forget about him.
3 wide receiver ones essentially.
It's insane. I mean, I feel like they might need more pieces defensively, though, is the only thing.
Yeah, I know they have, the 11th pick. That would be a perfect landing spot for Patrick Surtain or J.C. Horn. I love J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn is my CB1. And then you have, not Sean Wade, the other one. Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech, who opted out early in the season. If Dallas gets a cornerback star, I think you can begin to look at them as maybe a playoff contender. And I think, hey, you have a wide open division. There's no reason for Dallas not to win the division next year with a healthy Dak because they have the best quarterback in the division by a country mile, the best offense in the division theoretically by a mile. And if the defense is remotely competent, they're going to be a 9-10 win team just by eating up on the NFC East.
If Washington doesn't pull something out of their butts again.
Okay, this is fair. Although, I mean, I've seen the jersey swaps with Stafford and Watson, and I think if you're Washington, go for it. Why not? You have Antonio Gibson, you have Terry McLaurin, you have star power there. Re-sign Brandon Scherf, and then defensively, you're loaded. First round pick just about every year, committed to that defensive line. Chase Young, Matt Ioannidis, who got injured sadly, John Allen, Montez Sweat. The linebacking core is good enough. The corners, the safeties are good enough. That is a star-powered defense. And I'd love to see Watson. I'd love to see Stafford sling it to Terry McLaurin.
That would be crazy. So, I mean, you never know. I think they're missing a couple of pieces, but if they get them over the next couple of years and next couple of drafts, who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's hear one of your hot takes. Here we go.
That Cubs fan, Mitchell Trubisky will be a better QB on a different team in the future.
Ooh. See, the issue that I have with this one is that Matt Nagy put him in a good spot. And for all the flaws that Trubisky has, Nagy was able to cover up a lot of them. Trubisky is a quarterback with lots of warts, but Nagy, I think, got the best out of Trubisky, especially in 2018, and even this year, Trubisky had some good games down the stretch. I don't think there's a lot of teams that have a better offensive mind than Matt Nagy, and
well, here's what I'm putting together is that the 49ers, they're not sure about their quarterback situation. They're probably going to lose Jimmy G. Who's a better coach than Kyle Shanahan to develop? I can't really think of many.
Okay, I'm sold.
You're sold?
I'm sold.
I think it's first.
Put Mitch in San Francisco. That could be special.
That could actually. Kyle Shanahan.
Because you have yak guys. I mean, you're not a 49ers fan, but there are yak guys galore. Debo, I love Debo.
I've seen it personally. Debo has pissed me off a number of times.
Oh, man. I love Debo. I love Ayuk. I love Kittle. Even Charlie Warner, their backup tight end, Jordan Reed. Oh, my goodness. And then the running game. San Francisco could go to the Super Bowl with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback. We had this conversation with the Rams. You get a guy with a little bit of mobility, and that just raises your floor, raises your ceiling at quarterback. And I think, if the Rams roll with Wolford, I think they can have a higher floor because Wolford won't do the stupid things that Goff does. And I think you put Mitch instead of Garoppolo, you get a little bit of movement. You get the Shanahan system worked well with, Elway, Terrell Davis. We might have a Trubisky and Mostert, Trubisky and really fast running back.
That could be scary. That really could be scary. I think that's the first time I've ever sold you on something.
I'm 100% sold. Trubisky and Santa. Oh my goodness. Oh, and as much crap as I give Trubisky, the number 10 in Chicago and the number 10 in San Francisco, gorgeous on jerseys. So if I had to get a jersey for San Francisco, it might be a Mitch Trubisky number 10.
They look good. Yeah. I'll argue Cooper Kupp's jersey, but people have their thoughts about the ingredients. So
this is true. I wanted a Van Jefferson jersey. We should just have a jersey extravaganza.
We need to. I could talk about jerseys all day, honestly.
Oh, my goodness. Why bother talking about sports when we could just talk about jerseys? Amen to that.
There are websites dedicated to it, and I love those websites. I'm on them all the time.
Okay, we need to talk with Henry and get some, stuff for jersey talk.
Yeah.
I think that could be a niche that we could fill.
We could.
All right.
I'm a geek when it comes to that kind of thing.
Here we go. We got Zay 2Cray on the app. Matt Stafford gets traded to the 49ers. Nick Mullins is the second string quarterback, and Jimmy G goes to the Jets. Okay, Stafford and Kyle Shanahan. That is, because Stafford's never had an offensive genius. Now, granted, there's not many guys like Kyle Shanahan. I thought Trubisky and Shanahan together would be good. Matt Stafford and Shanahan, that could be. I saw some jokes on the app and on Twitter that Adam Gase and Sam Darnold would be a perfect pairing. Matt Stafford and Kyle Shanahan legitimately could go down as one of the best pairings of talent at quarterback and talent at head coach.
It's scary to think about how many people were pairing with Kyle Shanahan.
Ooh, yeah.
I hate having him in this division. I really do.
Although I think Sean McVay fits a lot of the same things. If Matt Stafford went to LA, I'm having the same sort of conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, the only difference to me between Shanahan and McVay is that Shanahan's the system has proven to work for decades now, and McVay is going to be in year 5 now. I love McVay and I love what he does offensively, and I would love to see him as a better quarterback than Jared Goff, but the Shanahan system just hits different.
I think the quarterback situation is different there because Shanahan still figured out how to beat McVay twice this year in both games where the 49ers were completely banged up and the Rams had their full roster. And Goff, I think, though, at the same time, Goff just had off games in both of them.
That's fair. And the second part of this was Jimmy G goes to the Jets. I don't see that happening.
That's unlikely. I'm kind of in agreement with that one. I don't really think that. I don't know where. It'd be an interesting discussion. Where does Jimmy Garoppolo go if the 49ers get rid of him?
because I don't think he's as valuable as, say, he's not certainly not as valuable as Stafford, not as valuable as Watson, of course. But I don't know, Washington? Would Washington want Garoppolo? Or I don't even think Garoppolo is that much better than, say, Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, and Taylor Heineke I think is more mobile too.
That's true. And I think this might be Jimmy Garoppolo is a better football player than Taylor Heineke, or John Wolford, or pick your poison. But if you're a mobile guy, you can do things that Jimmy Garoppolo can't. So if you're 90% of the passer that Garoppolo is, but you can move, that might be better than Garoppolo nowadays.
Patriots, says Alec in the chat. That's
Garoppolo reunion in New England. That'd be pretty saucy, I think, because he gets what Foxborough is about,
and he's like you just said, he's used to the system.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I like it, Alec. I like it. Good stuff. Okay, here we go. This is from Cool RGM, and this is a big one for you. Injury-free Sam Bradford would have been a top 5 quarterback of all time, especially if he was put in the Sean Payton or Belichick system. He even held the all-time season completion percentage record in his season with the Vikings. Thoughts?
It was forever ago since Sam Bradford played here. I honestly don't remember too much about him. It's been that long. It really has. Geez, I mean, I don't know. The potential definitely was there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was the first overall pick, right?
Yeah, 2009 or 2010. Sorry, he was the 2009 Heisman winner, 2010 number 1 overall pick by the St. Louis Rams. After you guys went 1-15. Sorry to bring up bad memories.
That's okay. It's fun. It's been painful a lot lately, anyway. But maybe. I mean, that's unfortunately kind of one of those things where you just never know. Because, again, the potential was there. It was looking good. But then he did get hurt. And you just don't know anymore. Because,
the talent was there, I think. And there was a reason he was the number 1 pick. Now, granted, he was helped out by being, a 3-year starter at Oklahoma and winning the Heisman.
Yeah.
And, at a certain point, being a better prospect than Tim Tebow is a valuable thing. I like Bradford in college. I don't think he's necessarily, on the short list of greatest quarterbacks I've ever watched. I don't know, Cam or Mar or not Trubisky, sorry, Watson or Burrow. He's not on that list, but was a really good college quarterback, and I think he had a lot of stuff that he can do in the NFL. He went to a 1-15 team. There's not a whole lot you can do with that. I mean, I guess be worse in college, get a worse draft pick, and be the 32nd pick, go to a really good roster and go to a really good roster in Baltimore like Lamar Jackson did. We got Alec in the chat. Love Watson in college. I thought he's up there. Of course, he didn't win the Heisman, but I don't frankly think that matters. I take his college career over most college careers, even those that won the Heisman. If I'm a college quarterback, I would rather have Deshaun Watson's career than Lamar Jackson's career, for example.
Baker Mayfield won the Heisman. I'll put it that way. And there are QBs that were taken in the same draft as him that. Well, I mean, have they turned out better, actually? I don't know.
See, that's the weird thing with Baker is that in 2018, he was a legitimately very good quarterback. And this year, he was a pretty good quarterback. It's just Lamar was MVP caliber in 19, and Allen was MVP caliber this year. 19. Yeah. Yeah. And I think all 3 teams are happy. I'm sure the Jets are hitting their head against a window just because they screwed that up. But you have 3 guys that are, I think Baker's a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback. He just happens to be in a conference with Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes,
Deshaun Watson, Derrick Henry. Or no, he's not in that conference, but he's in the conference, yeah. So
yeah, it's just a rough go of it because you have 5. I think there's 5-star caliber quarterbacks moving forward in the AFC, and then that's not even to mention Herbert and Burrow and Tua and. There's a lot. There are a lot of good quarterbacks in the AFC, and then the
AFC
NFC
is scary.
And the NFC is hey, we got Drew Brees, geriatric Drew Brees.
We got Tom Brady. We got
AFC quarterback
Aaron Rodgers, who might not even be on the Packers anymore. You never know.
I think he stays in Green Bay.
I think he stays.
I can't see him going anywhere else.
It would take a miracle for him to sign anywhere else.
Yeah, strange. Yeah, the NFC, like just the talent disparity at quarterback. Other positions we can argue, but quarterback, you have Mahomes and Watson in the AFC. That's better than any young quarterback in the NFC. And even if you go Lamar, Allen, Baker, Herbert, Burrow, and Tua, the only guy in the NFC that I think is like anywhere close to those guys in terms of youth and talent is Kyler. And Kyler's had his issues in the NFL, but I think Kyler can be a very good quarterback. It's just outside of Kyler, who else? Stafford's getting up there in age. Matt Ryan's old. Aaron Rodgers is old. Breeze is about to retire. Brady's 43.
Hey, maybe John Wolford can be the guy. You never know. We'll see.
Oh boy. Yeah, we might have to end the chat on that. Also, shout out to Alec again. Dak is the only elite quarterback in the NFC under 30. Yeah, I think that's fair.
That's fair.
Dallas needs to re-sign him. So any final thoughts, Jack?
I'll say it again. I hope Wolford's the guy. We'll find out, but we'll find out. That's if he does today. But
I have one more thing on Wolford. A couple of weeks ago, I made I made a Grant Gunnell fan page. He used to be the Arizona quarterback. Now he transferred to Memphis. I changed it to a John Wolford fan page right before the playoff game against Seattle. I went too fast with it, and I got banned on Instagram. So it's like, well, crap. Now I can't do anything, and that account's just gone forever. So shout out to John Wolford. You were worthwhile for me to spend 10 minutes making a fan page, and then I got banned. So
nice. I did not know that. I'm glad I did. I would have loved to have seen that fan page.
Yeah, it was like the Wolford of Wall Street or something like that. So on that note, thanks for joining. We're not going to hit an hour today. I think we were way over an hour last week.
We're close this week, but
yeah, stay tuned. We're going to have some jersey content because you and I both love jerseys. So if you're interested in sports jerseys, check us out. Thank you guys for showing out today, and peace.
See you next Friday.